Muscatine is excited to have a very special virtuoso and composer with us. Richard Scofano is an Argentinian bandoneon player who is also a composer. He grew up in Argentina, then moved to the United States when he was in his 20s, and he is playing a very unique instrument. The Muscatine Civic Chorale chose to do a concert which will be performed on April 4th, Thursday evening at St. Mary's and St. Matthias Church. And it's called a Tango Mass. It's Misa of Buenos Aires. And this particular composition by Argentinian composer Martin Palmieri is written with tango rhythms and the harmonies and melodies that go along with tango. And one of the primary instruments in the orchestration is a bandoneon. And so we were fortunate enough to get one of the finest bandoneon virtuosos in the United States. We had to send all the way to San Diego to get him, but we are so fortunate to have his talents with us. So we would like to spend some time getting to know him and getting to know this very unique instrument that we have as well. So, Richard, we are so happy to have you in Muscatine.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, too.
All the way from San Diego. And so if you would tell us a little bit about how you began to play this unique instrument, about your childhood, your background.
I started playing when I was 5. My father is a bandoneon player, and my grandfather was a bandoneon player, too. So I think, like everyone, start like playing as a being a child and playing an instrument because you copy your father probably, and that became a little bit more professional after the years, and I chose to be a musician. I don't know, when I was 9, 10, we started playing on festivals around the countryside of Argentina with my brother who played guitar. So that's why and how I started playing the instrument.
And so you said you started playing in festivals and things. So I'm assuming a lot of folk tradition as well as classical in that early performance and now.
Most of the music that we play or I play at that time was a folk music. So, Argentina is big, so we have the tango. Tango is particularly from Buenos Aires, and I'm like 1,000 kilometers from Buenos Aires, going north close to Brazil. Actually, I'm from the border between Brazil and Argentina. So we play folk music. The name of the music of that region called chamamé.
Chamamé.
And so we played that music. We didn't play tango. My grandfather used to play tango. My father played folk music, chamamé, and I am between both.
Could you give us an example of what that chamamé music sounds like?
Chamamé music sounds as a 6/8. That's for the musician.
6/8.
But with 3/4 on the bass.
Okay.
And sounds like you have very melancholic chamamé, and you have also very happy chamamé. Or you have very not happy chamamé. Very. This is part of mine, isn't it? More melancholic.
Melancholic, yes.
And then you have tango, and you have many folk that use the instrument in Argentina. So I started playing that music, and my father, when I was like 6 or 7, he sent me to study music. He couldn't study music. They play by ear, like folk. That actually I think is very good and helped me a lot because I play by ear. But I can read and I can write, but I study the score and make my own and then play.
Yes. And I agree. I agree. Musicians that can play by ear and then also read the music and interpret it. That's a wonderful, rounded opportunity for you. So, when did you write your first composition?
I was young. It wasn't chamamé. It wasn't that rhythm. So I went to school, School of Music in my city, Corrientes. I remember the top teacher of we had to pass a test, and they asked me like, name 3 classical composers, and I named 3 classical composers, but classical of the chamamé, no classical like classical of Western music, right? And after that, I met Beethoven, so I went home and I said, I want to be like him. So I composed. I remember the melodies. Something like that. That was the first composition, and after that, I made different, always making composition based on chamamé and just chamamé, like a folk composition. Composition is composition, anyways. I always say, you write it down or you record it, it is a composition.
Absolutely.
So I was around 10 when I made that.
Well, then yes, you were like Beethoven, very young composer,
No.
and that's wonderful. So, what brought you to the United States?
I want to explore different culture, and in 1999, in Athens, Georgia, University of Athens or University of Georgia School of Music, they have 2 weeks of Argentinian music, and some bandoneon player from Argentina couldn't come, so they called me. And that was 1 week. That was 1 week after I married my wife, and I said yes. So I came along.
And a very understanding wife. After 1 week, letting you go to Georgia.
Yeah, and I like it, and I made a friend there, Argentinian piano player, and the bass player also was from Uruguay, so I tried to make contact and come to U.S. The piano player moved to Miami and said, you want to come to Miami? And I just moved to Miami. That was
So you were an explorer. You were an adventurer. And,
I like pretty much.
Yes.
And I like it to be outside of the country and different experience. This make you different also. So that is why we moved with my wife and my daughter to Miami, and we stay there for 10 years.
So, again, I had never heard of a bandoneon, and I've been a music instructor for 40 years, and so I felt somewhat ignorant when I saw this instrument. So when you were in Miami, when you first got there, because of the Latin influence, because of where Miami is located, were people aware of the instrument?
Yeah, at that time they have like 4 or 5 bandoneon players, all bandoneon players. Miami is mostly Latin people, and a lot of Argentinians moved to Miami in 2000, around 2000. But also you have a part of the Colombia that they like tango, so they know the instrument. Also, Shakira make a pop star, Latin pop star, make one song with Bandoneon. So I was, and the classic way, we have this amazing composer Astor Piazzolla that is a bandoneon player. Was a bandoneon player, and he's a pretty famous music of new tango era. So Miami was easy to play. You know,
It was a good place to be.
Good place to be, but always into the community. That I want to be out. I want to play different things. I know my folk, so I want to play different folk.
Yes. And so again, playing your own compositions, and then something comes up like the Misa Buenos Aires, which was composed in 1996, I believe. So again, there are composers that are composing not folk music, serious compositions using this amazing instrument.
Yeah. Yes. You have a lot. The classic way, like Astor Piazzolla has two concerto for bandoneon and orchestra. I do have my own concerto for bandoneon and orchestra. And you have some composer that going into a classical way, using the rhythm, our Argentinian roots, to make their way into a classical contemporary music. That happened with everyone. You know, like Chopin used their roots to make classical music.
And as composers, you are influenced by your environment, and you are influenced by your history. And so again, all of the new things you experience, that's just going to add something new to your compositions.
Oh.
And
totally
always changing.
Yeah,
always changing. And that's what's so exciting about following someone, and whether it's Bach or whether it's Richard Scofano, no matter who it is, they're going to take their life experiences and add it to their compositions.
That is the main idea.
That is the main idea, and the opportunity to share those. So now you've given us an example of the chamamé. I heard you say something about tango and new tango. Can you share what the difference is between?
Yeah, the new tango came after 1970s. Actually, came before, but let's say after 1970, the composer Astor Piazzolla, who has a different. He was born in La Plata, close to Buenos Aires, but he was raised for some years in New York City. So, but with Italian family, like everyone else, I have Italian family too. He changed the way. He went into more to that you can play. You don't have to be Argentinian to play his music, because it's written the way of classical music you do. If you play tango, traditional tango is kind of different because you have to know all these approaches to the tango. So I'm going to play some tango. Let's see, you have many different styles, but let's do the simple ones. I'm going to do one more famous one that the name is El Choclo, but here in U.S. they know by Kiss of Fire, I think.
Fire.
So this is kind of traditional tango, right? And then you have Astor Piazzolla changed the harmony, changed the way the approach is. Like the approach is mostly classical way. You know, you present the melody, you develop the melody, and you have an adagio in the middle, and you come back to the melody, and you do the ending, the coda and the ending. So the famous, it's like this one is Liber Tango. Change the rhythm between one oh no. So he made that that change that from just doing for dancers like and going into a classical for me. It's the classical way, you know, with those influence from Stravinsky, and at that time, you know, Ginastera in Argentina. He studied with Nadia Boulanger. And that's why we have Astor Piazzolla now, because he studied with Nadia Boulanger. Nadia Boulanger said, do it, whatever you're doing, but doing with mixing with your music. That so you have some roots, right?
And that, having you explain that, really makes it makes something click for me in the Misa Buenos Aires that we're doing. I can hear both of those things in there. I mean, you've got the dun dun dun, and then you got the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, you have the
yes.
And also you have another one that's famous called Jumba. I know you wrote it, Jumba.
Yes.
That is
And yes, so all of those things that Richard just played, those are things that are coming from the Misa Buenos Aires, and again, three completely different rhythms and different emotional responses to that as well, and so that's exciting. So you have been you lived in Miami for a while, and then where did you go after Miami?
I went back to Argentina and stayed there for 2 years, and back to Chicago. I moved back to Chicago and I stayed for 7 years in Chicago. And there, Chicago was a change for me. The city, I like the city very much. Cold, but I met different people in Chicago. I met Alfredo Minetti. That we have the duo Scofano Minetti, the piano player. So when I moved to Chicago, I went back to the root of classical again, and started writing music as a full-time job. So I became professional composer, and keep studying. I met different directors, orchestra directors, and conductors, and violins, and quartets, string quartets. So I had to write, and make you better, of course. You know, you keep writing, sometimes you fail, and you keep writing. I I don't have technique for writing music. I just write it whatever is coming to my head, and then after that I analyze and go back and see, yeah or no. Um, so Chicago was very part of my new way to see the music that I want to develop and write it down. And we moved to uh, California after that. There's no that cold.
Good move.
Yeah, yeah. I had that after 7 years in Chicago. I had that feeling that in wintertime, at 4 or 5, I feel tired already because you don't have sun anymore, and you have the dinner and say, okay, I'm not gonna go to sleep early and wake up early. So California is better. But I like it very much for now.
So you said you chose to become a professional composer. Can you give us an idea of what is a day like for a composer? Do you write every day? Do you have a set time that you write? Is it like going to a set time, going to a job? Say I work from 8 to 5. What's your day like when you are working on a piece?
The day are changing constantly. You need something to start writing, right? So you need those inspiration. It could be 2 notes, and after that you have to working on it. So you have to sit and try to develop that. If I have nothing, I stay. I compose with the piano and the bandoneon, like here, right? And the computer. I told you before, because my handwriting is not that good. So keep trying. Play bandoneon, play piano, play bandoneon, play piano, and I don't have deadlines because I'm writing because I like to write, and now I do. Now I have some piece of for string quartet, but most of the time I'm thinking, what do you want? I don't want to waste time writing down and don't like it and erase. So I rather sit down, think about what I want to do, and start playing with that first. And after that, I start writing. So, and the concerto for bandoneon and orchestra was started funny way. Mina Sikri, a conductor from Oyster Symphonic of Chicago, called Alfredo. If he has something for full orchestra, write it down. And Alfredo say, no, I don't have it, but I know Richard have it. I didn't have it. So Mina called me and say, you have a concerto for bandoneon and orchestra? Yes. But I'm writing down. I wasn't writing. I was thinking about writing a concerto for bandoneon because it was a different way of the concerto bandoneon. It's a concerto for bandoneon, thinking about with the roots of the chamamé, no going from the tango to the concerto or classical concerto. So it was different approach of the concerto. That's why I want to write it. So he called me, said, October 28, I don't know, 27, we are going to present it. I said, okay. And we did only the first movement because I couldn't finish in 2 months.
But in 2 months you wrote one movement.
Yeah, 13.5 minutes.
Oh my.
I finished after that, the second and the third movement, finally. And we play that in a big concert hall in Buenos Aires, and I play in Brazil too. And I'm gonna play. It's gonna be the premiere in U.S. with an orchestra called it's in Columbus, Ohio. That will be in November. I forgot the name. Pro Music. So we are gonna play there the concerto again in November.
Could you play us an excerpt from the concerto?
Yeah, the concerto. I really liked those periods of Tchaikovsky to here. I really like melody and harmony, and so the concerto start. I start with the orchestra, but the melody, first melody is.
That's beautiful.
That is the first. And the second star, I made the concerto. Like last night, we were talking about rivers, that you have the Mississippi River. I'm coming from the river town, too. So you have the Paraná River, Uruguay River. In the middle, you have a big lagoon, like a lake. Actually, like a lake. It's an aquifer. So you have this Paraná River is a very torrent. Torrent that is a good word. It's a big, and it has a lot of movement. And the other one is not that kind of, and the lake is so calm. So that's part the first, the Paraná River. The second is a lake, and actually is the name of the concerto. Iberá means bright waters in native language.
Beautiful, yes.
It's very calm. And the other one, the Uruguay River, is a river that we have the south of Brazil and Uruguay. So I changed the rhythm, not 6/8 anymore. So 6/8 3/4. No circular way, more rhythm way, as we have those kind of rhythm of Brazil that we have in our folk too, called regido doble. That you have those 3/3 3/3 2. Yeah. So that is a rhythm for us too. It's not only the tango that we have the rhythm, but on the east side of the province of Corrientes, you have it's very rhythmic movements. It's like no?
Yes.
So I made that the third movement like
very
that,
rhythmic like that.
Very rhythmic. Yes. So
it sounds exciting. And so when this premieres in Ohio in November, then I would assume that there'll probably be recordings.
Yeah.
And then we will be able to purchase it through that, through
Yes,
iTunes.
I would like to have a very good recording for once, that concerto. I'm working on the second one too. I really like orchestra. Margie, my agent, is asking me to write something with voice now. So with core,
a chorale or a choir?
chorale, or like we have now, but probably a different piece. I don't know yet.
Yes. So challenges and new things to explore.
Yeah, I really liked symphonic music. I found all the colors I need now. I like small, and I really like to have the duo with Alfredo, because it's like we are busy playing. We have to cover a lot. But at the same time, it's like, you study every day to not to be perfect, but to play on average top. But at the end, when you play, you just play, just play on the edge. I really like that. I'm writing down music now without any pianissimo or forte or nothing like that.
Putting your own feelings in it.
Just like if you can hear with the people that you are playing with, so we can move differently, so you don't have to follow the score. So actually, the music is going to sound different every time you play. So it make the music less boring.
Absolutely. So it's and like jazz.
Yeah.
It's an improv. You're doing something. Again, like you said, the moment is what's going to determine what the sound of the music will be like.
Because you
It
have
changes.
different feeling, different day. So it's like every day you wake up and say, now you have to smile. No. I understand for big orchestra, because you have many musicians, but duo, trio, quartet, I think
Yes.
you can manage this if everyone are listening what we are doing. You can make different music. The same music make different every day that you play.
And that's one of the exciting things about playing with people is their interpretation of it, and I think just from the many years that I've experienced music, that seeing it through somebody's eyes, someone else's eyes, seeing it, hearing it through their ears, it just opens up new perspectives for you, and that's what music is. Just such a wonderful, cathartic experience, and it's different for everyone, and yet in many ways it brings people together. And so, in speaking of bringing people together, the Muscatine Civic Chorale is a group of singers in Muscatine that they love to sing, and there is no audition necessary. And if you like to sing, we would like to have you join us. We rehearse on Tuesday evenings from 7 to 9. And I'm proud to say that I've just been a part of this group since 1996. We have done all sorts of music. We have done Bach and Beethoven, and but we've also done a lot of contemporary composers, and I can't wait for you to compose that choral piece that you're going to compose, and we would be excited to be able to sing that. To get to experience different cultures, different time periods, different styles of music. It's so exciting. It's exciting for the singers, exciting for me, the director, and it's exciting for our instrumentalists. So this concert that will be on Thursday, April 4th at 7 o'clock at the St. Mary's, St. Matthias Church, it is going to have a 35-voice choir. The bandoneon is a very important solo instrument there, and then also it will have a string quintet, 2 violins, a viola, cello, string bass, and solo piano. And then it also features a mezzo-soprano vocal soloist, and it uses the traditional Latin Mass, but we've taken that Latin Mass, the ordinary of the Mass that is sung every day and has for centuries been sung, and then we are going to put these tango rhythms, harmonies, melodies with it, a really unique experience. And I will say that our Midwest Muscatine Civic Chorale has thoroughly enjoyed this cultural experience, the opportunity to learn this music, and we would like to share it with Muscatine. And because we want this to be an experience shared by as many people as possible, there is no admission being charged on Thursday evening, again 7 o'clock at St. Mary's and Matthias Church. However, we will accept donations when we hire as many musicians as we have. There are obviously expenses. But again, we are just pleased with some very generous donors and benefactors who have helped us to bring this particular concert to Muscatine. So we really do hope to see all of you there. Please come up and introduce yourself to Richard and myself when you are there. And so, Richard, how about, do you have anything else that you would like to add? And if not, maybe you could just end with, we could be leaving with a piece of bandoneon music.
It's going to be a, I was thinking, speaking Spanish, it's going to be just a little part of the impromptu number 1. I'm going to play a solo set on Thursday.
Yes, and we want to emphasize that. So the first half of the concert will be the Tango Mass, and then the second half of the program will be a solo set. So this is one of those pieces.
Yeah,
or a portion.
A portion, because they had to come to.
That's right.
So the bandoneon, like I told you before, is a very unique instrument. It's a very melancholic instrument and nostalgic instrument that you can abuse sometimes of that, so to make people nostalgic.
Wonderful. Bravo. See you on Thursday.